In the world of predators, you have your generalists, the ones that'll hunt just about anything. And then you have the specialists. Today, we're looking at a bird of prey that has bet its entire existence on one single, very dangerous type of meal. Its level of focus is just astonishing. And as we're about to see, it's both its greatest superpower and its biggest weakness.
So let's meet our subject, the short-toed snake eagle. I mean, just look at it. Those piercing yellow eyes and, yep, that's a freshly caught snake. This single picture basically tells you everything you need to know about this magnificent hunter. It's a really striking bird for sure, but its looks are honestly just the beginning of the story. Okay, so the name gives you a pretty massive clue, right? This bird has built its entire life around hunting one very specific kind of prey. It's made it an absolute master of its craft, but it's also left it incredibly vulnerable. Okay, so officially, we're talking about Circaetus gallicus. It's a big raptor, but what really makes it stand out is that owl-like head and a diet where snakes, get this, make up somewhere between 70 and 96% of its meals. It is, for all intents and purposes, the snake eagle. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to follow this eagle on its absolutely epic migration. We'll see the unbelievable effort it takes to raise just one single chick. We'll get into the dangers it's facing in our modern world. And finally, we'll look at how we can actually help protect this amazing specialist. All right, first up, let's talk about this bird's annual commute, because it's not just a short flight. Every single year, this eagle undertakes a truly monumental journey that spans 2 entire continents. The eagles we're talking about spend their winters way down in the Sahel region of Africa, right below the Sahara. But when it's time to breed, they fly thousands of kilometers north, all the way to the open, reptile-rich landscapes of southern Europe. And just to put that into perspective for you, scientists tracked one young eagle with a satellite on its very first journey south. The distance it covered? Over 5,000 kilometers. And it did that whole trip in just 34 days. Absolutely incredible. So how in the world do they pull off a journey that massive? Well, it's all about energy efficiency. They're what we call diurnal migrants, so they travel by day, and they are experts at using rising columns of warm air, thermals, to just soar for hours without flapping their wings. They show up in Europe in early spring, and by mid-autumn, they and their brand new independent offspring make that long trip back south, with most of them funneling across the sea right at the Strait of Gibraltar. So why on earth would you make that incredible journey year after year? Well, it's all for one reason: to raise the next generation. And for the short-toed snake eagle, this is an incredibly high-stakes game where, honestly, the odds are stacked against them right from the start. 1. That right there is the most important number in this entire story. Every single year, a pair of snake eagles lays only one egg. This incredibly low birth rate means that every single chick is absolutely vital for the survival of the species. And the sheer investment of time and energy is just immense. It all kicks off in the spring with that single egg, which they lay in a nest that's actually surprisingly small. The female sits on it for about 45 days, and she relies completely on the male to bring her food. After the chick hatches, it's another 2.5 months before it even takes its first flight. And even then, it's still dependent on its parents for another month or two to learn the very difficult art of snake hunting, all before it's ready for that first migration south. The transformation is just remarkable to see. The chick starts out as this tiny, downy white fluff ball, completely helpless. But within weeks, you start to see its dark feathers coming in, and it just explodes in size, growing into this formidable young raptor, practicing its skills on all the snakes its parents bring back to the nest. Now just stop and think about the logistics of that for a second. To raise that one chick, the parents have to be unbelievably good hunters. It's estimated that a single eagle family will catch and eat somewhere between 700 and 800 snakes just during their 6-month stay in Europe. I mean, that is a staggering number, and it really shows you just how important they are in their ecosystem. But a life this specialized comes with some immense risks. The natural world is tough enough, but the modern human-made threats, they're putting a kind of pressure on these birds that they just haven't evolved to handle. So what are we talking about here? Well, data from wildlife rescue centers in France gives us a really clear and frankly tragic picture. The single biggest identified killer is our own infrastructure. 22% of the injured eagles brought in are because of collisions with electrical lines. And the second biggest? 18% from lead poisoning, from swallowing lead shot left behind by hunters.
These are not natural dangers. These are direct results of our activities.
And beyond those direct hits, the eagles are facing a whole range of other pressures. Their open hunting grounds are shrinking. Just having people too close to their nests, whether it's from forestry or even just hiking, can cause a pair to abandon that single precious egg. Forest fires can wipe out a nest in an instant. And you're not going to believe this. Despite being a legally protected species, they are still illegally shot. It's really a tragic irony, isn't it? Here you have a creature that has been perfected by millions of years of evolution to be an absolute master of its world, and yet it is completely unprepared for the dangers of ours. Its greatest strength, its specialization, has become its greatest vulnerability. But, okay, the story doesn't have to end there. Because we understand the threats, we also know how to help. There are conservation efforts underway right now to try and secure a future for the snake eagle. And the good news is, we know exactly what we need to do. The solutions here aren't some big mystery. It really starts with something simple, just giving them space. Creating quiet zones around their nests. It means managing the landscape to make sure they still have places to hunt. It means working with energy companies to make power lines safer. And crucially, it all comes down to collaboration, getting everyone at the table, talking to each other for the eagle's sake. Now, you might see their official global status is least concern and think, oh, well, everything's fine then. But that label can be really misleading. While the global population might be stable, their extremely low birth rate, remember that 1 egg per year, makes local populations incredibly fragile. A couple of bad years in a row, a new power line in the wrong spot, or a bit of habitat loss can have a massive, outsized impact. The short-toed snake eagle is a true master of the air and an absolute master of its niche. And watching one soar like this, it's just a powerful reminder of a kind of wildness that is both incredibly strong and incredibly delicate at the same time. It has perfected a way of life over millennia. So I guess the ultimate question here is a pretty simple one. This specialist has carved out a perfect place for itself in the natural world. The real challenge now is whether we can be thoughtful enough and careful enough to make sure there's still space for it in the world that we are building.